Fired up to jump on the Rude guest hotline. Rude makes the most reliable HVAC products in the DMV. Welcome in our friend, Mr. David Aldridge from The Athletic. DA, how are you, sir?
Yeah, good, gentlemen. What's happening?
We chilling, man.
What did you... I want to get to your AD column and all the information you have for us about the Wizards' big trade for Anthony Davis.
Yep.
Got to start, though, with the Super Bowl. What did you think of that game? Seattle's defense dominated.
That great offensive output from the Patriots.
Pressure burst pipes, gentlemen. You know that.
All the time.
Pressure burst pipes. Yeah, man. Seattle's, that defense was spectacular. And we've seen it in too many Super Bowls to not, I continue to not understand. Like, yes, we have seen Tom Brady be great, and we have seen Patrick Mahomes be great in Super Bowls. We have. They won a lot of Super Bowls. That's why they're two of the greatest quarterbacks ever to play. But for the most part, when you get to a Super Bowl, usually the great defense not only beats the good offense, it destroys the good offense. And we saw it last night. We saw it last year with a team going for a three-peat with a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And got destroyed by a great Eagles defense. Destroyed. You saw Peyton Manning, who is a Hall of Fame quarterback, get beat 40-8 in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
40-8 by a great defense, by the original Legion of Boom. You know, so it's, I don't know if it's easier to build a great offense than a great defense, but it sure seems like that's the path of least resistance with so many teams. And I don't get it, but that's why I guess I'm not getting paid the big bucks that they get paid to do this.
I think when you look at it, though, Dave, if you got four that can get pressure, that offense has problems.
Absolutely.
So I think they should be looking for four people that can put pressure on the quarterback consistently, and all of a sudden you change your whole output.
Again, it happens year after year where you see teams that are dropping seven back into coverage, and all of a sudden the guys that have been open all season aren't open because there's four getting home and the quarterback's running for his life back there. And so it's hard you can't just make an adjustment like people say all the time. There's no adjustment. We can't block four. You can't block four. You can't do anything offensively.
Totally.
And that's what we saw yesterday.
DA, what do you make of Drake May was phenomenal in the regular season, and the playoffs just wasn't good, frankly.
No.
What do you make? What, if anything, do you make of it? Kind of going forward.
I mean, look, I'm not. I like Drake May. He's a good quarterback. He's going to be a really good quarterback in this league. I think just like Jaden Daniels, his superpower is when he runs. When he takes off and runs, that's when he becomes phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
And like Jaden Daniels, he's going to have to adjust because teams are going. Guess what? They're going to take that away. They're going to take that away.
Yeah.
They say we're not going to let you do the thing that you're great at. You're going to have to figure out some other way to beat us. And that's what he's going to have to figure out, and that's what Jaden's going to have to figure out. They don't do it by themselves, but they're going to have to figure out. All right, how do I quarterback the way I can to be the most effective if I can't just take off and run every second or third play?
Yeah.
And they're smart. These guys work their tails off, figure it out. I don't have any doubt that either of these guys are going to be terrific quarterbacks. And I wish we could just leave it at that and stop having to pick between one of the two.
Right.
Why do you have to pick between Sinatra and Streisand? They're both great. Why do I have to pick between one? So just enjoy both of them and stop having this thing where you got to say if one guy's a bad game, that means the other one sucks, and vice versa. Yeah. It's just terrible. It just makes me sick. Makes me crazy.
I'm with you on that. Both of them could be good. And the thing like that schedule thing. Listen, it makes a difference. You beat who you play against, but when you get against a team that's battle tested, they're gonna probably beat you.
Yeah, no doubt. And I'm not, I'm not blaming Drake May for the schedule they played.
Yeah.
But much like last year when Jaden and the Red Commanders.
Oh wow! Yeah,
almost did it. The Commanders had a pretty easy schedule. They took advantage of it. And they won a lot of games. And this year, the schedule was a lot harder, and they didn't take advantage of it.
Truly.
So, that does matter. It does. So, And that's what I'm getting back to again. They now, like every young quarterback, you're on tape. These are smart defensive coordinators. They're going to go, okay, we're not going to let you do that no more. You can't do that no more. So now you got to figure it out. And they will, because they stay in the room, they study, they have good quarterbacks, good coordinators. I think Blau's going to do a good job with Jaden. I think they have a good rapport with each other. And I think it's like I think Blau will be able to step to Jaden and say, that's not good enough, man. What you're doing isn't good enough. Mm-hmm. And Jaden won't take it personally and be like offended or because he respects Blau. And I think they have that kind of relationship where they can talk real talk to each other.
Yeah.
Talking with our friend David Aldridge here on the Rude Guest Hotline. Rude's the most reliable HVAC products in the DMV. You can give DA a follow at David Aldridge DC. You can read all of his work at The Athletic. I mean, dude, seriously, with the events of last week, your work, Nikki's work, Josh Robbins' work, never been more important in this town.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. We're trying.
Well, I mean, you guys have always kicked ass, but
yeah,
I didn't plan on this, but can we sneak one quick one in? I mean, you are a Washington Post alum.
I am.
That's where I met you at, Dave.
That's right.
Could you imagine what happened? It was unimaginable to me.
It's a tragedy. That's the only word that comes to mind for me is that it's a tragedy. And like most tragedies, it could have been avoided. Mm-hmm. And decisions were made, affirmative decisions were made to destroy the sports section of the Washington Post. Not because the Washington Post didn't have a great sports section, because it did. It has great writers, it has great reporters, has great columnists. Decision was simply made that we, the suits who aren't from Washington, who have nothing to do with Washington, don't know nothing about Washington, the suits don't like reading stories about the Commanders and the Nats and the Wizards and the Caps and Maryland and Georgetown. Because they don't go to games and they don't know nobody in town that cares about these teams, and all they care about is going to their little parties where they can talk about politics all day. Well, that's great for them, but they don't have a damn thing to do with the city of Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
And so it's a travesty. And I don't speak with my chest about a lot of things because I just think that a lot of that's nonsense, but I think I have some standing in this one. Mm-hmm. I live here. I've lived here my whole life. I don't live anywhere else and write about Washington sports. I live here. I live in the city like I've lived since my entire life. And I worked at the Washington Post. I worked for George Solomon, who's the greatest sports editor of all time, who understood back in the 80s and 90s when it wasn't popular that diversity mattered, that it mattered to have women covering sports, that it mattered to have black people covering sports, that it mattered to have Latino people covering sports, that it mattered to have Asian Americans covering sports. He walked the walk. He didn't talk about it. He did it. He hired me when I was 22 years old and didn't know a damn thing about journalism, but he gave me a chance. He gave Wilbon a chance. He gave Christine Brennan a chance. He gave Sally Jenkins a chance. When we were all young, we didn't know what we were doing. He gave us a chance. And to take that legacy and to blow it up out of complete arrogance and complete uninterest in the city that you live in, just lack of interest. I do not care about the city of Washington, D.C. that this paper represents is what is infuriating to me. Because it's not about, look, you can make whatever argument you want about economics. This ain't about economics. Yeah. Not when the third richest human being in the world owns the paper.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he should happily want to lose a lot of money every year. I'm saying you didn't even try to make it better. You just looked at it and said, well, we're losing money. Cut it. You didn't say, hey, how can we make this better? How can we make this more interesting to younger readers that maybe don't want to read long articles? How can we incorporate video? How can we incorporate different kinds of storytellers? You didn't even try. You just said, cut it. And it's a shame. We will do what we can at The Athletic with our group to cover the city sports teams we have good people. Hopefully we can get some more in here sometime soon and continue to cover the teams here.
Well stated, man.
Really well said right there, DA. Thank you for doing that. I didn't plan on it, but it was needed to be said and asked. I want to switch gears here to something I love how you handled this. So the Wizards trade for Anthony Davis last week. It was a pretty big shock. Brian and I were sitting here, and I saw it on Twitter, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I mean, it literally had us like standing up in our chairs. Wow, the Wiz made this move.
Yeah.
Then you start to hear AD might not be thrilled about it, and you did what good reporters do. You called Anthony Davis. It also helps that you have that Rolodex. But the article's up on The Athletic. It's you and Josh Robbins, I believe, shared the byline on this. But what did AD say? Where are we at?
I mean, look, I think what he said was, hey, the initial visit was great. Love talking to, ownership and to the front office people. They smartly took him to the locker room at Capital One, which is really, they did a really nice job. As part of the renovation of Capital One, and it's really as good a locker room as you can have in the NBA right now, that I've seen in the NBA right now. Done a really good job. So that part, he was like, that part's great, but now we got to talk turkey. Like, what y'all doing?
Yeah.
And that's what he wants to know is what are the Wizards doing, not just to try to get back into playoff contention, but to try to contend for championships, because he's going to be 33 years old next month. You know what I mean? Like, he's at the point where it's like, I want to be at a place that has a chance to win a championship. That's not the Wizards right now. Like, it just isn't. Like, you can't, even the most optimistic of Wizards fans wouldn't say that. And it won't be next year. Now, they might, depending on the lottery, they could take a big jump, I think, but they're not there yet. So he wants to know, all right, so what's your plan? Like, where are you going to be in 2028? What types of players are going to be here to help me try to win a championship? And I think the inference is, if they're not going to be here, then I don't want to be here. And I think that's fair. I think what I last 2 years. But if you get healthy, we will help you get healthy. He's back in Dallas now working with his folks that he's been working with the Mavericks. We will work with you to get healthy. You don't have no Olympic obligations or Team USA obligations this summer. You can spend the whole summer trying to get in shape. Get back in shape, I should say, after not playing a whole lot of games. And if you ball out the first half of next year and you look around and you say, yeah, this has been great, but I still don't see the vision, get you out of here. We'll get you out of here. We'll get you. We can't promise you it's going to be the one team, but if you give us a list, try to get you out of here. But you got to ball out for us. So ball out for us and see where we're at, and see if this is going in a direction that you like, and then we can revisit. I think realistically, that's all that anybody can expect from both team and from Anthony Davis, because he's got no obligation to want to be here. Like, he won a championship in LA. I thought he was going to try to contend for a championship in Dallas. That's where he's at his career. That's not where the Wizards are.
Yeah.
So I don't expect him to go, oh, yeah, I'll just go here and be on a mediocre team for the last 5 years of my career. No. So he has to see or hear from them, hey, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go get this guy. We're going to try to get this guy. We're going to draft this guy. We're going to trade for this guy. And then in 2 years, we're going to be at this level. And I think that's where it's at and where it will be. I think it's totally professional on both sides. I don't have any problem with his position, and I don't have any problem with the Wizards' position.
Did he seem that he felt comfortable with the young guys that they've added to this team at this point?
No, I think like any great player, he's a great player. When he's healthy, he's a great player. He's like, yeah, they're nice, but they got potential, but I don't know what their ceiling is, and none of us know what their ceiling is because they haven't been put in positions to test their ceiling. Like, what do you do when you have to win a game to win a playoff spot or to win a playoff game? They haven't been in that position. It's all been just do what you can do now. We'll throw you out there, get some experience. You're not there yet. You'll be better in 3 years. So in 3 years, will Alex Sarr be an all-star level player? I don't know. I mean, he's got a chance. I'm not saying there's no chance, but it's not by any means assured. Will Keyshawn George be an all-star level player? I don't know. Like, again, talented. He's got some potential. Same with Trey Johnson. Same with Will Riley. They've got some good young players that I think have some upside. I don't think they have a superstar young player, and that's why they have to hit in this lottery. They have to keep their pick, first of all, which they're going to do. Now, you write that in ink. They ain't letting this pick go, and I don't care what the fines are from the league. They're not going to jeopardize losing this pick in this draft that is as good as this draft looks out to be. I mean, Saturday night was insane.
I saw your tweet. I responded to it. Caleb Wilson, dude, there is some talent in this draft.
It's unbelievable. This is, you look at the breadth in the top, and it's not like 12 guys, but it's 6 or 7 guys that are at the top of this draft that all look really good right now as potential, franchise level players. And so, yeah, I mean, they potential. And you've got these young guys coming up now. Let's take a look at that and see how far that group can go, and then maybe make a judgment on it. And I think that's what they're trying to convince AD. Like, let's see what we got. We don't even know what we have yet. So let's see what we have, and then we can make a determination about how far we can go.
DA, one thing for me, I remember when the Nats, there was that period of time when the Nats were officially for sale, right?
Yeah.
And Ted came out and said, I want to buy them. And I was for that, especially in baseball, because you got to pay your stars in baseball. You got to engage with Scott Boras. You got to operate that way to win. The Lerners have, since the World Series, have refused to do that, right?
Yep.
If you look, there's plenty of criticisms of ownership of the Wizards and what the Wizards have done, but throughout their ownership, the Wiz have paid their stars. They gave Wall a Supermax. They gave Beal a Supermax. I don't think Davis and his representation, I think it's Rich Paul, right?
Clutch Sports.
Does Ted have the reputation around the NBA? He'll pay up when it's time? Because I feel like he should.
I don't know that. He's paid. To your point, he paid Wall, he paid Beal. That part, I don't doubt that he would pay to either, keep a young superstar or to go year by year, maybe, a couple years out with an established star like Anthony Davis. You're not going to give Anthony Davis a 5-year contract.
Right.
Nobody's going to do that, 4 years even. You're talking about max 3.
Right.
I would think on an extension with his age. Same with Trae Young, by the way. I don't think that's an issue with the Wizards. The issue is talent. They just haven't had nearly enough talent to be relevant in the NBA. And now they are starting to amass enough talent to at least try to be relevant in the NBA going forward starting next season. So you got to be bad, but you are. I think in your article you're saying AD will play, right? Ideally, if the docs that's what
clear
Will Dawkins
everything.
said yesterday. Yeah, we heard different over the weekend and wrote that he was not going to play this season, but Will Dawkins yesterday, before the game with the Heat, said, I asked him, what do you think? Is he going to play or not play? And he said, no, we think he's going to play. I think they will. I think they will be judicious in his playing time if he plays. I'm still not convinced he's actually going to play.
Yeah, I'm not either. I like Will a lot, and I understand he's at a podium and is going to say certain things. Right. Not sure I'm buying that one, dude.
I'm always reminded of the line from the great philosopher Bart Simpson, who said, I can't promise I'll try, but I will try to try.
Perfect summation there. DA, thank you for the time, man. Really appreciate it.
All right, gentlemen. Good talking to you.
Appreciate it, brother.